One of the things I've done here on this video channel is I've talked about, quite frankly, things that may not be so popular in the mainstream, but yet you usually know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm curious about this. Um, I'm curious to know what you think, and I'm also curious to know, really curious to know if you've gone through this same feeling, be it in the middle of your abuse or even afterwards, after no contact or limited contact. So my abuser, the narcissist in my life, is still alive. Now, we know that my uncle, who abused me in different ways for a decade, at least that I know of, he's in jail. He's in federal prison right now. And a lot to do with my hand in that. There's a video I made, I think it's Ladies and Gentlemen, We Got Him, if you're not sure what I mean. So with my uncle, I would always, even in my adult life, feel fear that he was still out there. Now it's different. I didn't feel fear of him molesting me again. I felt fear because I knew he was a serial pedophile. And that's how we got him, because we know how he thinks. But I was fearful for other children. And lo and behold, when we did get him, that's exactly what we found out. That's how we got him. But the fear for my mother lasted decades. And I know some of you might immediately think, what are you fearful from a woman that's not in your life, or what are you fearful from for an old lady? You know, that's true. It's a valid point you have. But let me tell you what my point is. My point is growing up, from the day that I can remember, being abused, whether it was constant daily abuse, whether it was constant physical beatings, hard beatings, whether it was constant parentification, where I was taking care of my brother every single day, and that's the only thing I had in my life. At the time, I loved doing that, but I had no time to be a child. I would shake when it came time for her to get off the bus from the job that she worked. I would shake. I've mentioned that before on my channel. And I don't know if I can describe how deep that feeling was. The fear of what would happen next. I did a video called Walking on Eggshells. I think that's what it's called. But that was my entire childhood up until the age of 15, where I had to get out of that house and basically live on the streets in the basement of my friend's home. Because I was tired of that fear. I was tired of the what's next, what shoe will drop. It was always something. So I had this heightened anxiety in me, always as a child. And I was always right. The shoe always dropped. But how does that carry on into adulthood? It's burned into your DNA. It's seared into your mind that when you have calm one moment, the next moment is going to be interrupted with just violent rage, or being told violently how bad you are when you've done good things. That's seared into your mind. I can remember, as far back as I can remember, wishing she was dead. I remember that into my young childhood. I remember that into my young teens. I remember that in my 20s. But I'll tell you what, after I tried that reconnection with my mother, the first video I did talking about that, I can really remember it then. And I can really recall it now. Wishing she was dead. See, with my uncle, he's in prison. He can't harm any other child. And he was doing that. But he's in prison now. Probably for the rest of his natural life. He's 80 years old now. He's going to be in prison till 2026. But with my mother, who's also 80 years old and physically can't hurt anyone, but you know what she can do? She has a lot of time to plan. She's a devious planner. And some of her plans were so sophisticated and so evil that you wouldn't think that anybody would do it, much less your mother. How it was meticulously set up. It was positioned in such a way that she knew how you would respond, and then there was a trap laid for that. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggeration. So I had this in adulthood. And yet, even today, I have this fear that she can hurt me somehow. If I was to love somebody, right, which I have many people that love me and I love, but she'll somehow interrupt that. My biggest fear with that has always been that she's going to somehow create havoc and triangulation with my child. I mean, why not? The evidence is there. She's done it countless times with me when I didn't even expect it. And then I got fooled again in 2010, reconnecting with my narcissistic mother, as if I didn't learn anything over those past 40-something years. And I know that she's capable now. I mean, what do all of us victims call a narcissist one time or another? They're terminators. They just don't stop. So we know, right? We know that they could be 80 years old, frail, in poor health, but they could still attack. And I don't think that's a false narrative. I don't think it's a false fear. So, how about you? Have you ever felt that? Have you ever thought it? No one's going to get you in trouble for expressing your thoughts or feelings, especially not on this topic. No one's going to judge you. And if they do, that's their problem. Certainly not yours. But have you had that constant worry that they were going to hurt you? And has that turned into just wishing they were gone already? Just wishing they were in the grave where they cannot any longer hurt you? I do. Because I know that she's still capable, no matter how old she is. She could be 90 and she will still be capable. If she gets a wild thought, she finds out where I live, which she does not know. She's still capable of causing me harm, of calling the police to my door, of calling someone that I love, or my child. My child would never believe her because he knows the deal there. But I don't think it's irrational thought. For as long as I could remember, I could not wait until she was in the grave. And don't you for a minute fall into the trap of, oh no, I shouldn't think like that. That's my mother. If you had somebody beating you constantly every day, right now, and they would not stop, wouldn't you wish them death? Wouldn't you wish them to stop? It's fight or flight, right? I want it to be over with. It's over with my uncle. He's in prison. But it's not over with her until she's dead in the ground. And I don't feel bad for thinking that because I know she can harm. And I know, most importantly, she will harm if given the opportunity. And there it is. No contact. I'm doing my best not to give her that opportunity. This was a difficult video for me to make. Please let me know what you think. Either way, thank you. I'm wishing you peace today. Sincerely am. I'm driving for it every day. Thank you.